我们今天要来建这个农田啊。这个帧数太恐怖了。可能高应该好一点，好5帧左右，开高的。
Was dark and clouded on a road that wasn't straight. The streets lights were my only light, my only fate. Then you came to change my story. You came to show my way.
你又来啊？不是你，你们每天就在这里，人家那个真的刷公交车的人到时候来了，你们开始。这个地方是不是？你说这缺少买家，他们都缺少买家，全都缺少买家。我的田地呀，我建的厂还不够多吗？这个地方堵车很严重，我要想办法改善一下，特别这个地方。你看这个地方堵的已经要完蛋了，所以呢，我决定呢把这个地方改。这个地方必须要改一下。我想如果有现成的就直接用现成的，要是没有的话。要是没有的话，就自己做一个渠化呗。环岛，我那个 Road Anarchy 没看。你确定这里建环岛是个主意，还是建渠化比较好？环岛真的适合吗？怎么让他不要？这地方有个问题是，我觉得我们这边要改。就先把这个延过来，先把这个延过来，因为这个交口实际上这边这个路口它是那种有交口的，如果这边拉一个环，我觉得这。或者这样呢？这样子就可以把两边的分开，因为你看，主要导致拥堵的是什么？这边是高速公路的交汇，这一侧是货运火车站，所以就会造成这么一个问题。但如果我加这么一个 overpass， 那他们两个就分开了。按照我的设想，我们试一下，看看这效果怎么样。这边需要改，这边需要改，能拉过去。哎，这里这个。哎，等一下，这边没脸。对了，我有个问题啊，我有个问题可以升。我有个问题是，这个机场路到底是什么意思啊？这个机场路是给飞机用的还是？因为我实在是不懂机场，我到现在都没建机场，因为我完全不知道怎么建，我完全不知道机场怎么建。我特别想问的问题是，这个机场货运道路到底是用来干嘛？它是给谁用的？它是在机场里面用的吗？还是在机场外面用？我真的要去查查现实，我要去查查一些有关机场的视频，因为我对机场是真的是一窍不通，我完全不知道机场，完全，哎呦我建错了，我完全不知道机场是怎么建。你说工业区什么的啊，都明白个大概。机场这个东西，我实在是什么都不懂。哦，就连接停机坪和外部道路之间的，是这个是吧？这个意思。这俩有啥区别啊？它这是哪个道？啊，它这是什么道呢？332是这个吧？哎，不对，它用的是什么？这个好像是。这样子的话，哎呦，这里很麻烦啊！你看这个地方要改的话，你只能整体都要改了，那是没办法，确实改起来很麻烦，非常的麻烦。但是不改以后堵的就会更严重，只是应该说一开始没有搞好，我把这个移过来，给它这样子连起来。然后这边上面的道换，哦，这边是6线，那我倒是有。 这个游戏啊，好吧，不是用流线，不是手啊，这是 suspend 靠没有，哎，就用4线。看这个高架上面也是可以加轻轨，哎。对，开始运作，看看效果。啊，是不是还没上网啊？你看这些车，为什么不从这边走啊？咦，是不是我没有？你看，靠，我要用我觉得我要自己连，这应该是要自己连的。就你这边的可以转，但是这一条路的就是直行。这边的可以转，这一条路直行，然后这边的可以转，直行。啊，直行同时应该还能转，我觉得。停，给我整懵了都。这边直行转，直行，这边转直行转，这边直行转，这边直行转，但这边好像缺一个。这里呢，这个是转的，这个是直行的，这里不能转，不应该让这边是不应该让它们转。差不多，这样差不多。现在再来看，这红绿灯怎么这么长？这红绿灯太长。
We want you to trust us with your money, because it's with your money that we can make you more money.
这个红绿灯应该调一下。
It's money business. You give your money to us.
应该，因为你们发现很多侧面的大部分的车，侧面大部分的车都会从上面走，只有回来的会从这里走。所以依照这个原则的话，我们的红绿灯计时应该。
You want to go money fishing, so you use a little money to catch a big money. You know, just come in and talk to us. We have even more metaphors that allow us to avoid saying what we really do with your money. Banhammer Bank. Feed the money monster.
Welcome to 10-Gallon FM. You know, around these parts, you either love country music and all the good things that come along with it, or you're into something else.
我操，我不懂，这什么意思啊？单击红绿灯来切换他们的状态。 滑至左侧时，自定义红绿灯等待车辆不敏感。可选红绿灯默认情况下通行车辆少于。这是什么意思？我完全不知道。我完全不知道这是什么东西，我根本看不懂。别。经过最小时间后，红绿灯图通。What？ 完了，我也不知道，还是不要乱改。这件事也是一窍不通的事情是。但首先我让帮人，还有我靠，5楼都没接上，突然发现，消防局也没接上。让他们不要在这个地方给我停车，这什么东西？这什么玩意儿？哦，哦，知道，这个要拖过去，那正好拖到这儿。No parking， 别面在这个停车。一堆车。算给你吧。好漂亮。
Next to my bed, I keep the memories of you. There's a song I wrote 1,000,000 years ago. It's a song about the stars up in the sky that shines for you. It's a song about what now has made me blue. I want you back, I love you. You know my love is true. I give you all my love and I'm still in love with you. I want you back, I love you. You know my love is true. I give you all my love and I'm still in love with you.
真好看。
Since the day you walked away from me, I can't stop feeling you. And the shirt you left is still here on the floor. Though I know it will feel better after rain, the sun will shine. But for now my heart is waiting for a sign. I want you back, I love you. You know my love is true. I give you all my love.
这张照片绝了。为什么有路在我的？不是，为什么有树在我的路？其实我在想一件事情，能不能把这个地方改，就把它们全分开。如果把这个架子往上抬，我觉得这个想法是可行。或者哎，很简，也不是很简单。对，不对，这两个不应该是反着的吗？What the fuck？ 停停停！我说停停。对呀，这不应该是反着的吗？如果是反着的，我就可以做曲。哦，他用的是，哦，对，单行。哦，对，这是单行，单行，这是单行，我忘了。如果是单行的话，搞了呀。这个地方不好搞。哎，怎么？
Be the better man. I'll be the better man. I've been thinking about the future. I've been thinking about the past. I've been running around in circles to find my path. All the sorrows that I carry, all the sorrows that I am, I'm ready
太堵啊！才去2辆车啊，这红绿灯有红绿灯有问题啊！你看，哎，看到没有？我靠 ，what the fuck？ 这边一次只会去2辆车，这就是为什么他一直在，不是这个路口问题，是红绿灯的问题。改了模式以后有什么用？让我看。哦，好多了，好像。有。我觉得这样算是差不多。
Fault Tech cameras. If you want the best, you have got to go big. That's why our cameras are the biggest on the market. Our shutters the loudest. Our lenses the longest. Cameras aren't paperweights. They're tools. Tools used to create. In fact, the most valuable camera is the one that you're afraid to take outside. Fault Tech. Only the best.
You're listening to Country Road Radio, where the city meets the country. I guess that makes it more of a suburb road radio. But hey, everyone needs roads.
最后他就过了。警察局需要一个的，我觉得。这儿。
在这儿并不容易出现。所以，只要我家房子够大，囤的货够多，人够多，待个几年是没问题的。在宅家期间，你除了吃饭睡觉以外，尽量少玩手机，保持电量，因为到了丧尸围城的后期，它将会是你联系外界的唯一手段。另外，收音机也可以在后期收到政府军队的通知。而在现实世界中，病毒丧尸可能1年内就能消除。鉴于丧尸的自我毁灭率以及军队的行动，如果你家够大，人够多，在家反而比郊外更安全。前提是在家要低一点。如果丧尸围城你还在家中蹦迪的话，那就纯粹作死。鉴于岛国的情况，更多的人住的是面积较小的公寓，几个月利用丧尸还是有可能的。造成市场显然不现实。于是，在丧尸围城的出前期，跑就成了首要选择。不过在跑之前，你需要先跑到大小可能出现的感染者混乱，身体上的是必要的，为了防止被以及其他锐刺的伤害。穿一身厚重的皮衣很重要。在古时，一个是的显著常见的手段，在丧尸围城中，这招如果光皮的话，冬天的棉袄也会起一定的防护。不过在夏天穿这玩意儿实在太热，但也比成为丧尸好。不过这些都没有，你家总有胶带板，把硬纸的杂志、纸板、木板放在四肢上，别乱插不多。在头部上，头盔是个很好的选择，但是建议每家每户都有相大的防护。总之，在跑前要在保证不强和不行的情况下，很多的自己保护自己最重要。另外，自己加载好手机，以便上行太多。如果在丧尸危机早期，很多私家车有相当好的选择，比汽车续航力强，能带更多。跑到野外实在没地方落脚，也能提供临时的庇护。但是在前期偏后的阶段，也就是大家争相跑路的阶段，汽车就是个陷阱。为什么？因为堵车，在很多灾难片中，大家争相跑，结果导致大拥堵，谁也跑不了。最后，这些堵在路上的车不是被怪兽干掉，就是被尸车吞掉。在丧尸危机中，堵车的大马路可能是最好穿的途径。所以，当大家都意识到丧尸危机即将爆发时，就不要再用汽车跑了。电动车、自行车都是比汽车安全的多的。有人可能会问，为什么不选摩托车？去掉的动力不会招来更多丧尸？除了选择工具、逃跑路线是讲究的。在大家都想跑的前期偏后的时候，主干道会完全没有，大街上可能会出现零星的感染者。在堵死的街道上，感染速度会爆炸的阶段，尤其惨害撞车。主干道上什么可能？如果你是选择此时逃跑，选择路和小路是较好的选择。之前下的时候并不是太不过东兴实在太大，电动车的电力可能不够，所以我们一开始就要学习一下情况。而如果连电瓶都偷不到的话，咱还是老老实实车吧。即便能带的物资少了些，但逃命时能保证很好的静音和机动性。在丧尸4的中，逃亡小队则不宜过大，人越少越不容易暴露目标。此时最好的组合实际上是家庭组。
We all want to be prepared. We all want to be sure that the people we leave behind don't think we're jerks. That's where final insurance comes in. We provide peace of mind for when you rest in peace. For a small monthly sum, you can spend your final years knowing that final insurance has everything taken care of. Final insurance. The last insurance you'll ever need.
We are the law, accountant. The law accounting. I know what you're thinking. Are we lawyers? Are we accountants? Well, it's a complicated question, probably requiring the services of a lawyer and an accountant. Is that us? Well, what do you think? Seems to me that there's a lot of you out there who might need the use of the law accounting. But that's not legal advice, that's life advice. In fact, we're legally barred from providing legal advice. The law accounting, officially unlicensed since 2005.
面对可能的危险，我们普通人的判断力和准备预案也应该随时在线。毕竟，我们也不知道未来会不会全城都会灭，没吃没喝，大家集体带上毁灭。这次疫情就给不少国家人民好好的上了一课，人的生命只有一次。居安思危没坏处。本期的丧尸危机咱已经讨论手段，下期节目看丧尸技术组建设和求生团队的建立。你们看不好，做视频不容易，又熬了我几天日，要求不多，想看后续多长点，给多少 各位观众，
I was stuck in all this
下期
trouble.
一见，不散
Didn't。think that it was more for me to call. I was living in my bubble. With all my dreams I put on hold, then I met you. You got me sober, but you, when you came over, like a jack in a box, you're turning up and save me. You've got it, I need it, so lucky. I got saved by the bell, you see it, I get it, free falling. It's so easy to tell that I'm under your spell. You've got it, I love it. I got saved by the bell. I got saved by the bell. Time went by, I didn't see you. Summer rain was slowly fading into fall. Another party feeling so blue. Out of nowhere you are standing here so true. It's hard to stay cool. You are touching my soul like a genie in a bottle. You walk back to save me. You've got it, I need it, so lucky. I get saved by the bell, you see it, I get it, free falling. It's so easy to tell that I'm under your spell. You've got it, I love it. I got saved by the bell. I got saved by the bell. You've got it, I need it, so lucky. I got saved by the bell, you see it, I get it, free falling. It's so easy to tell that I'm under your spell. You've got it, I love it. I got saved by the bell. I got saved by the bell. It's so easy to tell that I'm under your spell. You've got it, I love it. I got saved by the bell. I got saved by the bell. I got saved by the bell. I got saved by the bell.
飞天了。 非常漂亮。但是还没完呢，继续。
Leaving the city lights behind and riding towards the holy ground, where the silence is king and the air is free. Here is where I'm supposed to be. This is home. I know the streets, I know the roads. Here I belong, where the river gently flows. Every time I'm lost, I got to come to the place that gives me peace that I call home. When I pass the city border sign, I finally reach on peace of mind. It's dark and everyone's asleep. The memory starts wandering from the deep. This is home. I know the streets, I know the roads. Here I belong, where the river gently flows. Every time I'm lost, I got to come to the place that gives me peace that I call home. This is home. I know the streets, I know the roads. Here I belong, where the river gently flows. Every time I'm lost, I got to come to the place that gives me peace that I call home. This is home. I know the streets, I know the roads. Here I belong, where the river gently flows. Every time I'm lost, I got to come to the place that gives me peace that I call home.
talking to an old friend who reminded me of someone I used to know when I was younger. You made the darkest sky go blue. In those eyes I found a reason to stay. I couldn't leave him as we walked under the Milky Way. My heart was here to stay. You were dancing like an angel, like the stars above the city sky. What if this could be forever, just you and I? Can't believe that I'm the lucky one, that I'm still the one beside you. When you smiled at me, the walls fell down. My love was all around, and I know you feel the same way. Best friends turn into lovers, one magic night when we were young. Our story had begun. You were dancing like an angel, like the stars above the city sky. What if this could be forever, just you and I? You and I were meant to be. We found each other finally. From now it's you and me. Hold me close, don't let me go. Here in my arms you're meant to be. It's finally you and me.
Square Packages, the packaging specialists, are proud to present a box on both your houses. The untold story of the invention of the box and the family rivalry that nearly destroyed it. It's a tale about opening your heart, finding acceptance, and inventing the most efficient means of shipping and packaging that mankind has ever known. Proving that to find what's in your soul, you have to look outside the box and into another box, which is a house, your home. And that truly is the greatest box of all. Tune in every Wednesday at 8 for this once-in-a-week time television event, A Box on Both Your Houses, presented by Square Packages, the packaging specialists.
The last song reminded me of my days on the ranch. My mama had a saying that went, "If the chicken ain't clucking, don't offer it eggs." Come to think of it, I'm not sure what she meant by that. The chickens darn near never stop clucking, and they almost never seem to want to eat eggs. Maybe it was more of a riddle than instructions. In fact, the chickens never really liked Mama. So I wouldn't invest too much in her opinions about chicken care. But hey, family's family. Enough about me. Let's play another song.
I don't know what it is, I've never felt this way before. I doubted it existed, now I'm certain, I'm sure that this is all I ever dreamed of. This is all I ever need. The sky was dark and clouded on a road that wasn't straight. The streets light were my only light, my only fate. Then you came to change my story. You came to show my way. You are the wind, you are All this time I wondered, is it more for me to come? Is love just like a flower that withers then it's gone? So many times I thought it was it. So many times, so many wrongs. It feels like I've been sleeping, it feels like I've been dead. The dawn is finally here now, you are lying in my bed. Oh, I hear you come breathing, I don't want to wake you up. You are the wind, you are the sun, you are my dreams, this time I won. I bet in all I got, there is no fear, this time I'm bold, I know you're gold. You are the wind, you are the sun, you are my dreams, this time I won. I'm betting all I got, there is no fear, this time I'm bold. I'm betting all I got, there is no fear, this time I'm bold. I know you're gold.
When I was young, my father told me about the river and the trouble that was waiting straight ahead. I never knew what it all meant until I saw the place on the other side of love and all its grace. But you don't have to be here when I cross the river. We're trying way too hard, it's best to leave and let it go. Just let the river stream take you to whatever you may find. That's where you're gonna find your peace of mind. It's the simple things that makes a true believer. If you feel your way is lost, follow the light. It's the hard days of our lives that makes you wonder why we all stay too long in fear instead of taking the fight. But you don't have to be here when I cross the river. We're trying way too hard, it's best to leave and let it go. Just let the river stream take you to whatever you may find. That's where you're gonna find your peace of mind.
Mayday, West Pacific River Park. Creek Fall.
But you don't have to be here when I cross the river. We're trying way too hard, it's best to leave and let it go. Just let the river stream take you to whatever you may find. That's where you're gonna find your
City Planner Plays City Tips, where I review your cities and tips on how to improve them. It's an opportunity for the community to share ideas rather than just look at high builds, and it's a chance for you to see better cities. What this isn't is an opportunity for getting together and roasting. We're not here to help, not fun or make people feel uncomfortable. Just to people relax and experience a constructive city. So today we are reviewing Davenport's City of Santa Lucia. Davenport is a thank you so much for your support. It means the world. They've identified their skill level as intermediate, and they've created a really neat city here that I'm excited to share with you. So they have provided a really detailed story for the build. Santa Luna is a region that's been inhabited since the Neolithic. It's the modern city of Santa Luna. It was first settled by Spanish speakers who were drawn to the shelter, deep water ports, and mineral resources, particularly the sulfide minerals and gems of Peridot associated with the neighboring volcanic areas. English-speaking migrants arrived in the late 19th century. The city is currently demographically split between those of Anglo and Spanish descent. Many bilingual speakers with blended families. A few regions of the original Spanish architecture remain, particularly in Old Villas and several residences in Old Mill and Keytown. So they go on to explain a little bit more about what makes this community interesting, and I've brought a description of the city
which means
down
you're
in the
benefiting
comments.
from our services, whether you
And,
know us
it's
or
really
not.
unique.
No
They've done a
matter
great
what
job
our
developing a
critics say, at
backstory.
Colossal, we care about
Before we
our
dive
employees,
into
as
the
well
video,
as our customers,
let's talk
which
a
is
little
why
bit
we
about
work so
how
hard
I
to get
score these
our
cities.
miners
So I take a look at the
in
map
the
and I
mines
give
where they
score
feel
based on
at home.
map selection.
Together,
I
we
look
can
at city layout,
reunite
like
minerals
configuration,
with the people who love them.
land use planning,
Colossal
the
ore,
transit planning,
more
your
than
city
ore.
What the
services,
hell?
the aesthetics of the city, and the unique features. And then I give you
You're
a
listening to
planner
Country
six.
Road Radio.
So I'm
Formerly
really
known as
excited to dive
10
into this one.
FM.
Let's get right to
Before
it.
dispute
To start,
with the
let's take
Water
a look
Authority
at the
ended
map.
in a
So
mutually
this
agreed
map
to
might
name
look
change.
familiar to you. That's because it's one of the maps that comes with the base City Skylines game. This is Lagoon Shores. It's been out since the very beginning. So it's a neat map. This map has all resources available. So take a look. We can see that we have areas of oil, fertile lands, numerous forests, old ore deposits. We also have a significant fishing opportunity in this area, and all methods of transportation are available. This map is relatively flat, though. That's one of my critiques. If you're looking at just the normal building area, there's not much terrain to look at. There's a hill here, a hill there, volcano here. Not much beyond that. There is a river here, and interestingly, so there's this crater lake here. This is supposed to drain over here, but the builder decided to change the orientation and use this right here as an opportunity to create a dam. So kind of neat. So I like what they've done. They've taken a map that is pretty standard, not something special in it, but the map does have its limitations. I was going to give this a score a little bit higher than Castellana, which was what we first saw in episode 1. However, this is one of the the starter maps, so I am going to give this a score of 2.5 out of 5.
COVID-19 vaccines have helped protect us. Over time, the antibodies created after vaccination depended.
Next, we're going to take a look at the roadway configuration and city layout. So one of the things that I appreciate in this build is that, for the most part, roadway hierarchy is certain. There are a couple of caveats, but when we take a look at our traffic flow, it's pretty good. So part of that is that respecting the roadway hierarchy, although I think that the roadway network is overbuilt in areas. So if we look up here, you see that there's this roundabout that has 6 lanes going through it, which is just kind of odd. These inner lanes are never going to be utilized, and then we're going into an arterial. This is 6 lane, and usually you get back to the highway. So this is probably one of the walkier spots. I feel like they might have been trying to solve a traffic issue that they have in the past. That's the way they did it. But not a huge deal. I can overlook a couple of things like that. And for the most part, when you look at this, there's a lot of progression. Some of the distances here, this is problematic in my estimation. If you were to have a backup here, it's backing up all over the place. Thankfully, they're not experiencing that, even with these massive roundabouts. But if we just overlook that, arterial, collector, local road. So we have that hierarchy to follow. Even in places where they have deviated, we have these arterial roads, or at least what the game kind of approximates to be an arterial. They're almost functioning as collectors because of the amount of traffic through here. So, like for this, for instance, not 100% sure why this was upgraded to a 6-lane road. It's not really necessary, and with the roundabouts, it's not going to work as a 6-lane road. So this, in my mind, should be downgraded to a 4-lane. So then we come to some interesting things. So let's go to our underground view, and I want to show you something that immediately jumped out. So first of all, there's an underground highway, and that's very expensive. So that's not something I would ever expect to see in a city of this size. There's 100,000 cities, but that's expensive. Seattle's undergoing something like this right now. It's been super expensive, super controversial, and it's not for areas that have land available to build highways. So and then this is a place that has land available to build highways. So we've got it here. So this is interesting though. So over here we have a clover leaf. It's made of arterials. Just the regular 6-lane arterial, and it's functioning okay. It's underground too, which makes it all the more interesting. So that said, I don't know that this kind of solution would ever work or ever occur in a million years, but working. Hard for me to get too cranky about it. So that said, I am going to dot a point for that, kind of the underground roadway network. One thing I do like, through the story, you can tell that this has been developed in neighborhoods. There are a number of neighborhoods, all custom named, lots of thought into all of them. And the development patterns are unique to each of these neighborhoods, which is outstanding. So you can see these neighborhoods being developed by the developers. Like right here, you have a Crescent Park, and it has these lollipops coming down from these local collectors. Now there's some things happening here, like this road right here. This is a collector. Or we function as one at the very least. As with this, we don't really have the ability to create that kind of road, at least not unless you have DLCs. You can kind of approximate it with that 2-lane wide collector, which I do have that to show you. This right here, I think there is a global collector. So, in a city, you would have these, the road characteristics wouldn't necessarily change. So I guess I'm okay with what they're doing, but that said, the development patterns are more interesting. And you can see development patterns occurring by neighborhoods, which creates a sense of history, and it's just outstanding. And that's something I haven't really seen in any of the other builds, and it's something that I really appreciate. To me, that brings life. So it's very, very. One of the things I noticed is the junction control in the city is pretty hit or miss. So let's take a look at this. So in many places, there's just no junction control. So I'm honestly pretty impressed that I'm not seeing a bunch of backups from this, because I would anticipate that right here there's junctions that are necessary. You can get rid of these stop signs. But we have some of these junctions right here with no little free flow, heads, cars, whatever, anything else. That's a problem. I would expect that would create more backups if it weren't for something else. So that's in between some of the cheesing of the roadway infrastructure, the underground highways, and the stop control that's civilization's low. I'm going to give Taylor a score of 5 out of 5 for roadway configuration and city layout. Next, we're going to review the lease and this builder did an outstanding job for this planning. So, one thing I noticed right off the bat is that the mix of uses is very generous. So, you'll see that they bought one parcel at a time to develop some uses, create activity, some streets, commercial activity. Pretty intense.
And I haven't seen the sky yet.
Kind of cool, which is excellent. Great activities in these denser areas. And it's exactly transit steps. There are because they're mixed in, so they can't building the lower density.
I think I go insane. Someone ease my pain. How can everything go wrong? All the dreams I had
Just really standing this.
I try to find a cure in a parlous night. I try to find another
These kind of
nothing you can ever make you right. Nothing you can be the truth.
So that what I think more impressive is the way that they manage to keep more not just away from run that uses. And it's been happens less far into the rest of the uses. Given that open network is overbuilt and
I think I go insane. Someone ease my pain.
now I would be
How can everything go wrong?
not acknowledge something that's in this
All the
film
dreams I
that one that
had
changes them. And that is the Eden
all
Project.
the
Let's see if I can
dreams I
find it
had is
right here. So we have the Eden Project right in the middle of the city, and it's a beautiful asset, and it fundamentally changes the city. And the way that it does that is, number one, it boosts your land value to which is great if you want to level up every over your city, but it certainly changes the land use. So you can sometimes get a development pattern that looks better than what if the project would best. The other thing it does is it eliminates pollution for all buildings that are built now. So if we take a look, let me just take a look at our pollution levels, very low. So there's a couple of polluting uses that are ready. If I were to delete these uses, let's say I come, these are all the stuff that works. If I come through ways redevelop, should redevelop without waiting. And for me, that's project is one of those assets that slowly gets out of the game. So, like in Verde Beach, for instance, it's probably the very last thing that places. Because the moment I place that city's message, if I were to delete these uses, let's just say you sometimes get a development pattern that maybe looks better than it would if the Eden project weren't present. The other thing it does is it eliminates pollution for all buildings that are built after the Eden project. So if we take a look, why don't we just take a look at our pollution levels? Very low. So there's a couple polluting uses, not many. If I were to delete these uses, let's just say I come through. Oh, these are all still covered. That's interesting. That one is. So if I were to come through here and delete some of these, when these redevelop, they should redevelop without any pollution. And for me, that's a problem. So that's the Eden project is one of those assets that for me personally takes the fun out of the game a little bit. So like at Verde Beach, for instance, it's probably the very last thing that places. Because the moment I place that, my city's basically done. I'm just doing that to see what it would look like with maxed out buildings as a fairly utopian society. So that's a personal preference, but I do think it takes away from the realism. The other consideration here is noise. So they're mixing in the uses for the most part. It's pretty good. We do, because of the Eden project, give a little bit of forgiveness Right here, we have residential properties right next to this opera house, and they're totally fine. Maxed out level, not complaining, and this comes down to the so we're able to get away with some of these issues that we wouldn't normally get because of the project. So for me, that's a bit of a problem. Interestingly, I thought that it removed the it looks like these are a little more, maybe not. Maybe it's just a little end. I don't know if there's a good way for me to test this. So creating an industrial area, I really
Don't you want money for nothing? Yeah, you do. What's the catch? There is one. Anyone who wants it can have it. You just have
and there's just not a lot of demand right now for
our 3-day sleepaway campers.
Industrial. We're gonna leave this and just
who
come
are
back
we?
to
Well, we're the #1 dream makers in the region. And
that's
you
it. With
are motivated, driven,
project and some
confident
of the issues
individual
that it
who has a
creates,
desire to make it big.
I'm going to give this a 4
Get
out
your
of
heart
5
rate above
land use
120.
plan.
This is exciting.
You know,
This
generally,
offer is just for you
this is
because you
outstanding.
deserve it.
But again, that
Come
little bit of
alone.
cheesing
So
again,
don't wait. The
it
early bird
kind of
catches the
breaks
worm,
the
and the
version a
worm
little bit.
is a bust
So
at
I'm gonna
143
not-
industrial way that leaves it gone. So grab destiny by the horns. Go on, grab it. It's yours for the taking. Money for nothing.
This is Tom
Is
on Country
transit
Road
planning,
Radio.
and we've
Business
talked
best
about
host.
how great the traffic flow is in the city. But it's not
Playing
just,
business
look,
best
it's even
music.
gone up a little bit. It's
Like
started.
the old horse.
So
sent to the stable
it's not
only to
just that the
watch its
railway
master
network
leave and
has proper railway hierarchy for the most part. This is really a story of transit. So I think if the transit network weren't what it is, traffic in the city could be an absolute disaster. But let's take a look. Wow. 9,500 trips per week from residents on transit, or nearly 3,000 tourists. That is outstanding. Absolutely outstanding. Okay, so you might wonder, how do this? This is wild. We've got bus routes here. Granted, they've used custom assets. I have no problem with that. This one right here is one of the vanilla assets. So we only have 30 passengers that fit in this bus. Then we can get this bus right here. You can get 110. That's fine. And then there's another bus. This one, I believe, allows 110 for this one. They have one that allows 60 as well. This one? Yes. So they have a variety of assets. They've right-sized their buses to their lines, which is absolutely brilliant. But it's not just that. Let's zoom out and see why their lines work. So I think first and foremost, we just spoke about the land use plan. And their transit system is not trying to solve land use problems. Their transit system is trying to hit as many origins and destinations as it can. And that's easy because the land uses are mixed. So this is a real problem in the real world, is that you'll get a bus system and they are trying to serve way too many people that are way too far apart, or take them to places that are way too far away. But if you have a nice mix of uses, you could pick someone up somewhere, drop them off at their destination, and have that destination have people get because it's their origin. And that's happening everywhere in this city, which is, it makes me so excited. But it's not just that. You see that these are logical routes that have opportunities to transfer. So right here, this bus route can transfer to this metro. That's awesome. There's 2 lines here. You can go in either direction. There are stops at either side of the road, so you can take this in either direction. And even here where it turns around, it's another transfer opportunity between 2 metro lines. So it's like this throughout their entire system, across all modes of transit. They have really fully optimized all of their modes, and it shows that the amount of utilization is just outstanding. All of the lines are logical. The entire city is blanketed with transit. I'm curious, I didn't look at this before. Our policies support it. So we've got the free public transit policy, so if your trip is easier by transit, more convenient by transit, faster by transit, why wouldn't you take transit, particularly if it's free? So that's what's happening here. And that is, it's an easy thing to follow. And just very impressed with the transit planning in the city. There's you might have noticed there are trams here. I think that's because this is just a theory. I'm not 100% sure of this. I don't think that this builder had any DLCs at all. And the work that they've done without any DLCs is top notch. They're just using assets from the Steam Workshop. When you look at this, you'll see that they've worked in a couple of assets here and there. There are just little things, but with transit, I mean, they don't have trams. They're not working with some of the modes that people traditionally use. They've still created an excellent network. So I guess I would advise that everyone keeps that in mind. You don't need every method of transit, and some methods maybe aren't as effective as you might believe that they are. You can do really well with what comes with the base game. So for transit, how can I give anything less than a 5 out of 5? This is outstanding. This is one of the more effective transit networks I've seen. It's certainly the most effective of all of the cities that I've reviewed. So again, 5 out of 5. Excellent, excellent, excellent work. So next we're going to take a look at city services. So this is everything from power and water to education, police coverage, and everything. So let's start out looking at power. What you can see is what on the edge here. This is a bit scary in my opinion. This is way too close for comfort. And part of this is that the game's been running for a little bit. Part of this is just that there's not a buffer here. So we would need more of a buffer to feel comfortable. The city's not going to grow because of the electricity coverage. So it's a bit of a problem. That said, when we take a look at our electricity coverage, they've done some different things. First, they've really spread apart their network. So if they were to pick up natural disaster DLC, it's very unlikely that their entire power network could be knocked off by that one. Now that said, because they're not overproducing, we see it. The longer we sit here, the closer this gets to being a problem. Because their network is spread out, it's very unlikely that things break. I'm seeing this. This is interesting to me. I'm curious on this. Better underground power lines. It's interesting. So they're using those underground power lines to make some key connections, which is also very nice. Looking at the water network, this is chef's kiss. Do you notice where all their water pipes are? In the spot, and the network is beautiful. So this is one of the things that I don't understand about not putting water pipes is the networks are so beautiful when you look at them. Maybe I have a different criteria for you. But I think this is absolutely awesome. This is a work of art in and of itself. And I absolutely adore it. They've done an excellent job here. And I want to give my hats off to them for that. Let's take a look at some of our other city services. So again, our garbage processing status here. I appreciate that it is well spread out. It is kind of teetering on the brink there. So there are two ways to look at that with both the garbage and the power. They're not overbuilding. They're building what they need when they need it. The other way to look at it is they have lots of money, so why not overproduce a little bit for half? This all comes back to the Eden Project. I'm going to talk about that a couple of different times. The Eden Project levels up and down. So the needs on your infrastructure are greater, so you have to have that buffer in your project. Healthcare, we're doing very good with healthcare, with healthcare, with childcare. 94%. Eldercare, now we're facing take a look at their fire safety. This is not so good. And this is that's the areas that don't have fire coverage. That's problematic. It seems like it's mostly the best areas. There's some that are just black all-fire bridge altogether. Police cover, though, is one of the worst that I've seen a building I've reviewed so far. Granted, it's all sample size, but 8% is pretty high. We're teetering on the edge. For a city this size, that would be pretty scary. It'd make this kind of a scary place to live from a crime perspective. So that's certainly something that I take a bit of issue with, and I just think let's test my theory real quick. This is how skip that theory. But back to this. The last couple things, we've got our education pipeline. Same story. Hearing here, we're low in high school. We're doing great with our university campus. I want to on this because this, to me, is one of the more important things about this bill. So look at this. So this builder has gone out of their way to create a unique college campus. So they've taken some mods or some assets from the workshop and created some buildings. So these are dorm buildings that work as college buildings. And then we take a look. So that's really what's providing the coverage there. It looks very neat. We have this telescope image doing the same thing. Probably not the greatest location for the telescope. I know that from experience. The comments I saw it. But I love they've picked up targeted assets to create their own campus. Very neat. Very nice. So for city services, I do think that I've got to dive viewpoints here, not responding to the Eden project. So if you're going to place the Eden project, you've got to respond to it and provide that extra overhead in coverage. And the police coverage, like I mentioned, is very, very poor in this case. So that's the problem. The one shining place that I really think that we should have in these parks. We're going to dive into that. There's a lot of custom parks here. Coverage, the blanket thing, which is outstanding. So for city services, I am going to give them a 3.5 out of 5. This is primarily due to not responding to the Eden project in terms of providing that school overhead and document points that both half a point for the fire and police coverage, which are lacking in some of the more important parts of the city.
Extra.
My favorite piece of legislation here is letter G. So next, we're going to review unique features. This city is so filled with unique features. It is mind-blowing. Like I mentioned, there are no DLCs in this build that I could figure out to find. Yet here we have this amazing airport. We have this lovely train station right here. This is outstanding. There's no other way to put this. This is some top-notch work right here. So you've got what basically is the Metropolitan Airport that you get the DLC back, but like times 1,000. And they've gone through, they've used airport roads to create all of these airport roads. You know, it's a logical, functional airport in a part of the city that makes sense. Density around it's appropriate. They've gone ahead. They've done everything to create concourses, to airport hangars, to air traffic control. so much detail into this. I don't know if they work at an airline or if they're just very familiar with the way airlines work. Fuel tanks, just wow. The amount of detail here. Just every corner of this airport, it's all there. But this is just one part of the build that's like this. It's like this all over the place. So another part of the build that I'm just in love with, they do not have park life. But they didn't, that's not an excuse in their mind to not build parks. So check this out. They've got this custom entryway into their park. They built the parking lot to accommodate all of the tourists. And they've got water slides and a stadium, a kiddie pool, and a roller coaster, and a Ferris wheel, got cinema here, go-karts. This is just, this is top notch. A skate park, amphitheater. This is actually, that is the same amphitheater I used in Watercounty. And they've used it very, very well. I know that this is a challenging asset to use. So, just incredible work. One of my favorite parts of this build, they built this golf course. And it just feels so good. You've got little pools of water. They've got these really nice greens, sand traps that look excellent. It's got a fountain. Look at that. Look at this. Look at this build. Just wow. Every part of this has detail. Trees to the buildings that they're using. And look at this. I click on this, and this to me looks like King Leno's mansion that I actually used in Clearwater County. But they're using it as the Bellwater Golf Club. And they've got a little clubhouse here where you can lounge, hang out by the pool, a little putting green. Just wow. This is awesome. This part of the build, there are so many little details like this throughout the entire build. It is outstanding. So again, the one place that I have to critique is the use of the Eden Project. The Eden Project, coupled with all of these unique assets, means that we just have a lot of unique assets in this build. So this is very utopian in nature. So as you go through the downtown here, you just start to see that many of the buildings that actually come with the game. We can just go through here and identify. There are many that are actually present in the film. Some of them used really well. Some of them just got present. So that's the one critique that I would say that I have is that there are just, in my opinion, far too many of these assets for a city of this size. Some of them are used really well, some of them are just kind of here. I really like what they've done here with their government complex. It kind of gives me Salt Lake City vibes, you know, where you've got this church right in the center, government buildings that it's a really neat thing. So I'm not going to dock very much for that. I'm going to dock half a point to the overusing of the unique buildings for a city this size and the kind of utopian nature of it. But that's what their dream is. I'm
推荐一电影
So
夜话。
for unique features, 4.5 out of 5. And then finally aesthetics. And I think that if I went 4.5 for unique features, you know where I'm going. Aesthetics. They've done such an excellent job here to not have Park Life DLC and detail parks. So check this out. This is one of their state parks. They have created this park here. There's a path to get in. You can walk around here. They've done an excellent job with their landscaping. They've provided opportunities like this all over. You can see it when you look at their districts. Right here is a park. Here's another park. This is the state park that they referenced in their story. they didn't have to do this, but they did. They have a restroom here, a little gazebo to take a look at the water, and a trailhead so you can walk up and take a look at this. You can get across the road and get to these neighborhoods or get around here. And there's a network of parks like this, and they're all very attractive. But for me, it comes back to some of those unique features that we have in here, and the amount of care that they placed into all of their neighborhoods, which are well landscaped. Nothing feels like it was just plopped there. Everything has a purpose. Everything. There's an attention to detail that even when maybe they're emulating a design pattern that's less than ideal, there's a purpose for it. They're telling a story, and they're trying to improve those designs through their aesthetics and through some of the things that they're doing here. Like right here, we're lacking some connectivity, but they have a connection to a pedestrian path. Generous and landscape that worked in a vanilla park to bring it all together and just created a unique place. These are the types of places that make urban areas interesting. It's the fact that you have things that are different around every corner, around every block. It's one of the reasons that I love living in Los Angeles, for instance. As much of a hard time as I give Los Angeles, there was a while there, about a year, that every weekend I made it my mission to visit a different neighborhood and experience something inexpensive as I can. So that was a goal of mine, and that was something that was really easy to do there because every neighborhood was a little bit different, and that's one of the experiences you get in there. Right? So they've done an excellent job of recreating that comparison here, and because of that, I'm going to give them a score of 5 out of 5. Incredible detail. I wish I was better at this. I've said that before. This is the sort of thing that I need to get better. But they are absolutely masters at it. And even managed to make us like it seemed like an active multiplayer. That's 5 out of 5 for us.
What? Lipstick for ease.
So with that, there's only one more thing to do, and that is to know more than the city planner city score. Drum roll, please. They get a score 28 out of 35, making this the top rated city so far. I think that this builder has really done a lot of excellent things. The compensation for not having DLCs, the creativity, and it's just outstanding. They've done a really great job here. To improve this build, the number one thing I would do is just eliminate all of the cheese. You don't need it. You're doing so well in some other areas that cheesing of the roadway network is not necessary. You can get away with just making those connections to function over. I went through here and removed that entire underground network, made the connections at grade. I think that you're still going to see 80, 82, 83% traffic flow, especially if you downgrade some of those roads. Put this whole city on road diet and get rid of the 6-lane roads. You don't need them. This was a really fun build for me to take a look at. And this was a really fun week to take a look at the builds I took a look at. I hope that you enjoyed this. I'm going to leave you with a brief city tour. If you could, like the video if you liked it, subscribe to the channel if you aren't, and you have an interest in doing so. Let's see them out with a brief city tour. Take care. Bye-bye.
Summer rain was slowly fading into fall. Another party feeling so blue. Out of nowhere you are standing here so true. It's hard to stay cool. You are touching my soul like a genie in a bottle. You are right to save me. You've got it, I need it. So lucky, I could stay by the bell. You see it, I get it. Free falling. It's so easy to tell that I'm say by the bell. I could say by the bell. You've got it, I need it, so lucky. I could say by the bell, you see it, I get it, free falling. It's so easy to tell that I'm under your spell. You've got it, I love it. I can say by the bell. I can say by the bell. It's so easy to tell that I'm under your spell. You've got it, I love it. I can say by the bell. I can say by the bell. I can say by the bell. I can say by the bell.
When I was young, my father told me about the river and the trouble that was waiting straight ahead. I never knew what it all meant until I saw the place on the other side of love and all its grace. But you don't have to be here when I cross the river.
Hello, welcome back to City Planner Plays, where we are building Clearwater County, focusing on Fairchild. And I'm really excited about today's build because we are going to do quite a bit with this little community. But before we get to this, what we're going to do basically is build a grocery store and make this a community focused on outdoor recreation. But before we get to this, I want to fix a couple of things that you all would not build. So these C5s are just way too big for this airport. Maybe. So there was not a consensus around this. But I found a couple of different options. So an F-15 snuck its way in. We're not going to put that one in. But I want to put these C-17As in, and we'll see if that fixes things. Now, I've tried this, and they take a while to show up. So we're just going to let this go. And we should have all these set now. Keep clicking on all the pop. So there we go. All right, so we're good there. Next thing I want to do is there was a comment that there's a way to make these outside lanes actually for slower vehicles. Oh, we're gonna try down the center lane, whatever floats your boat. we're gonna give this a shot. So if you go into TMPE, there is a trucks use the outside lane option. And I want to take a look at this. Okay, so under policies, heavy vehicles prefer outer lanes on highway. We're going to see if that does the trick. I'm curious. If this doesn't work, I've got another option. Let's speed it up and see. Well, this is going to drive me crazy. I don't know why they're all over the place. But what if I straighten this up a bit, if that fixes it? And with the power of YouTube, back to daytime, have to be that. All right, so it seems like, oh, there's a truck on the outside lane. So the other thing that we could have done, they would never expected this, which they are now. We could have lowered the speed of the outer lane, I guess. The inside lane. I'm not sure. I could have also restricted the heavy vehicles from using this, but it seems like it's doing what I told. There, of course, are some that aren't going to listen, but that's okay. That's okay. We'll go with that. And next, with this area, so Franklin Gardens, not a great name for this, but you all had a great name. It came up a few times, Mulligan Trail. And I really like that. And one of the comments that I saw also talked about removing this road. And I think it made a great point. The point was basically that there isn't really a reality where this road would be removed. What would happen is it would remain as is, and the park would be built around it. And I think that's a great point, because this is really valuable land. Homes that have likely been developed down here. We can see where this road was, so we're going to put it back. We'll call a brief mulligan near Mulligan Trail. Now that's ugly. So we're going to need to do some things here. And obviously node controller is not going to be enough. We're going to need to slope this. So I'm going to come in here, click on this, slope to about there. There we go. Carves it right into the ground. So, not ideal, but I think we can fix this. I'm just going to soften this a bit. This is the height of realism. So we'll be fine. So there we go. And what we're going to do is just follow where this road used to be. It's obviously going to be a little bit different, but we're going to go with it.
So many times I thought it was it. So many times, so many wrongs. It feels like I've been sleeping. It feels like I've been dead. The dawn is finally here now. You are lying in my bed. Oh, I hear you calling, breathing. I don't want to wake you up. You are the wind, you are the sun, you are my dreams. This time I won. I bet in all I got, there is no fear. This time I'm bold. I know you're gold.
Now is where things get a little bit tricky. So I see what appears to be a path right here. I do not recall making that one. So I don't know if that was a power line at one point or what the case may be. But I've clearly veered off because the road connected up here. Now this isn't gonna work. So what we're gonna do is just leave part of this. Now this particular road that I grabbed doesn't have a bridge. I'm pretty sure, and that's why we're not seeing it out. Check it out. See if we can force this upgrade and upgrade. So that's not gonna work. I think that's a bridge. That's not a bridge. So we go with this. And here's another location where I think bridging would be appropriate. And here as well. So now I'm going to raise these up, get these to be flat. I'm curious if the sloping tool would have done a better job.
With Yakisoba,
Definitely did.
the noodle masters.
No,
No
we'll
matter
do the exact
what
same
stage
thing
of
over
life
here.
you're in,
Now we want to make
have
this
the
work for a
perfect
while, and we're going
noodles
to do
for
this.
you.
Those
From
bridges are
birthday
expensive,
noodles
so
to
we are going
wedding
to cul-de-sac it out here. Now this is
all the way to
crazy,
those most
crazy
vile
long
of
cul-de-sac line.
noodles.
This would be an absolute
Every occasion
disaster
has a noodle at
or disaster
Yakisoba,
recovery.
so experience
But
something different.
that is not why everything gets built.
Yakisoba.
Not all
It
the time
literally
anyway.
means fried noodles.
There we go. We'll need to do a little bit of work with the leveling here. Again, the height of realism
Time to kick back, relax,
as we
kick those
terraform
boots
it
off, and
to fill this in. But I'm going to show you in just a minute why it's so important to preserve this land. This could actually pay for the
Saddle off your
entire
back.
park.
Miola.
So if we take a look, let's look at some of these views you get here. Come up here, view of Ashland and the water and this bridge, which is unacceptable. Totally unacceptable. Now it's fabulous. There we go. So now this would be an absolutely lovely place to live. If you're okay with a bit of driving, just to get some homes and some power here. But you know what? I think there'd be no problem with anything. Now, one of the things that is difficult in the game, I was recently asked about suburban development, how I feel about it. And I think the same could apply to rural development. And that is, it's wildly expensive and inefficient to provide utilities in areas that are very disconnected or very spread out. So that's one of the reasons why in a rural area you wouldn't see water pipes like this. You would see wells and septic systems. So this is very expensive, particularly we're going to have our houses, one every quarter mile maybe. We're not going to have very many. The power lines are going to be there. This is one of the reasons why you see a struggle, rural broadband, where there's just a bunch of companies that don't want to provide it. Without some sort of government intervention, I don't really see rural broadband, such as you experience in urban areas, really being a thing. And the reason is just it's so expensive to lay the actual cable. Think about the efficiency of laying a rural line versus laying an urban line. You know, a mile power line in an urban area would cover, I don't even know how many addresses, but many of them. As opposed to the rural area where you wouldn't have all that many homes being served. So it's unfortunate, but that is the reality of it, and I think that it's something to be cognizant of. Because we have this transformer up here, we need to get power down, and what I think that unfortunately means is we have to have another power line heading straight down. Slope too steep. I disagree. I think we just need to figure it out. So, well, slope plus too steep. So that's why you have to do it, I guess. Let's see another. Yeah, that's basically the only option that we have. So we're just gonna roll with it. We'll go alongside. We'll double back down, and it's gonna allow us to do that. So that's a good thing. And I guess anything is possible when you have anarchy on. You forget it. So, are these power lines along the back of the lot? Maybe not the back. No, that's not right. We can't do that. We'll run it one home at a time, and we're going to play a little bit of a waiting game. So I'm going to zone all the homes that I'm going to zone, and then we will connect power. We're going to have more home. Well, no, we actually have this little mound blocking a bunch of our views. That's unfortunate. We'll clump some houses, acknowledging that that would be a very desirable spot. Same thing over here. Now you get a view of Shorewood. And from over here, Shorewood, the bay, and beautiful. Just an absolutely stunning environment. We'll have a few more houses down here. There's water. And that would certainly be an attraction. So let's go ahead and get the power.
With the BC Parks license plate, you're helping protect our provincial parks so we can discover our property.
Okay, so that should leave us completely connected. I am going to let this fill in for just a minute to make sure that we got everything in place. Okay, that didn't take long at all. So we got homes on the side of the hill. Homes. I think we're missing one. And I'm sure that one's going to fill in any minute now. So I'm not going to be overly concerned about it. But these homes, if you look out your back window, maybe it's not great right now, but you can imagine they might thin out some of this and create a bit of a view for themselves. There's our final house. Again, a beautiful view. Now, the unfortunate thing is, you know that these are valuable homes. They would be eventually. It's not going to happen with a significant intervention on my behalf or a bond or force level up. But I think we're going to be fine. It's going to be fine. So, with that, very excited about this little development. Let's expand our park, because we're going to do more with this in the future. This will be the kind of park that starts out small and eventually becomes something big. Now, back to Fairchild. And what we are seeing is the first of our commercial buildings popping up. Thankfully, it is a long time coming. One of the reasons for this is that realistic population to completely rebalance what's happening with our commercial, and ultimately what that meant is that I basically no demand for anything. Thankfully, we're beyond that. So, this is the main street, and the main street I think will have a different treatment than we see on the rest of the streets, and with that, slow it down. And we're going to add sidewalks here. I think that that's totally appropriate. It's rural, but it's not unusual in a rural area to see the main street having more of an urban treatment, is how to call it. So I want to upgrade the trees here. Then we've got these young lindens, and I've been curious about them. Haven't used them on a street, but I feel like they would look great. Oh, and they do. It's funny, I've got all of these trees downloaded, and I think all of my favorite ones come from Mr. Mason's additions to the base game. So, I mean, clearly there are some great trees outside of there, but these are just outstanding.
面包店。这明明是面包厂，靠！疯狂甜甜圈，负责摄影的身材曲线。身材曲线，笑死！柠檬汽水加工厂。
At Sternberger, our cars are more than just hunks of metal that take you from point A to point B. They are also composed of industrial plastics, polymers, and rubbers. We also know it's what's in the car that is more important than the car itself. And that's why it can also carry up to 300 kilograms of human, animal, or consumer goods cargo. The climate control device brings the air temperature to 22 degrees Celsius. It's our way of making our cars comfortable for the majority of mammal species. In fact, it is a perfect vessel for transport from short to medium distances, and we believe that the price we are asking is a fair trade for the value transfer to the consumer. Sternberger, more than just an auto.
Saddle up in the mornings with Jimmy and the Stallion, the only morning show featuring DJ Jimmy Fries and a 4-year-old quarter horse named Clover.
This is Jimmy Fries coming to you from Studio 2. Whoa, whoa! Looks like someone's horsing around. That's okay. Easy, boy.
They'll play your favorite hits, give out great prizes, and laugh their way through your commute. Jimmy and the Stallion. Stable entertainment only on Cities Radio.
Welcome to 10 Gallon FM. You know, around these parts, you either love country music and all the good things that come along with it, or you're into something else.
软纸加工厂。维生食品加工厂，运动鞋制造厂。
Everything is like you left it that day. The sound of silence is killing me. 'Cause nothing here can set me free. All the streets that we've been walking along, and all the places that were you and me. Everything is covered in dust. Life has come from diamonds to rust. I'm lost without you. I don't know what to do. I think I go insane. Can someone ease my pain? No, me and you can't believe it's true. I think I go insane. Can someone ease my pain? How can everything go on when all the dreams I had is gone? I remember all the days in the sun when you wear your scarf and big black shades. We were cruising in your haven't seen the sky again. I'm lost without you. I don't know what to do. I think I go insane. Can someone ease my pain? No, me and you. Can't believe it's true. I think I go insane. Can someone ease my pain?
蛋糕是真实。
How can everything go on when all the dreams I had is gone? I tried to find a cure in a bar last night. I tried to
Hey, the cake is a lie. The cake is a lie.
nothing you can never
The cake is a lie.
nothing you can be the truth.
维生食品，赫尔曼是所有优秀人的英雄。
I don't know what to do.
Herman's quality food.
I think I go insane. Can someone ease my pain? No, me and you. Can't believe it's true. I think I go insane. Can someone ease my pain?
工业运
Can
动可以
everything
结束，
go on
建设所有特工厂。
when all the dreams I had is gone.
工业钢铁厂。房屋。
skies start shifting. I see the dawn is here. I have a sense that my warmer days are near. No more clouds in my coffee, no more clouds in my way. I'm on the highway to life, I'm shifting gear. I've been thinking about the future, I've been thinking about the past. I've been running around in circles to find my path. All the sorrows that I carry, all the sorrows that I am, I'm ready for the change, I know I can. I'll be the better man. 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 I've been thinking about the future, I've been thinking about the past. I've been running around in circles to find my path. All the sorrows that I carry, all the sorrows that I am, I'm ready for the change, I know I can. I'm ready for the change, I know I can. I'll be the better man. When I was young, my father told me about the river and the trouble that was waiting straight ahead. I never knew what it all meant until I saw the place on the other side of love and all its grace. But you don't have to be here when I cross the river. We're trying way too hard, it's best to leave and let it go. Just let the river stream take you to whatever you may find. That's where you're gonna find your peace of mind. It's the simple things that makes a true believer. If you feel your way is lost, follow the light. It's the hard days of our lives that makes you wonder why we all stay too long in fear instead of taking the fight. But you don't have to be here when I cross the river. We're trying way too hard.
You don't really need anything else now, and I love that. So there we go. Now, today, what I want to do, we're going to do something a little different. We're going to plat out the city. So the developers are going to come in with a plat, and we're going to review it and put it down on paper. One of the reasons we're going to do that is we got some unique terrain here, and we want to make use of it. So we have this lookout point, and the idea that the developers have proposed to the city is to maximize this area, turn this into a park, and have a bunch of neighborhoods that dead end into trails. So it's a really fantastic idea, making use of the natural environment, and they want to sneak in a neighborhood right here and make use of this. You take a look. Look at that. It just doesn't get much better than that. It's funny. You can't use all of these areas in the base game. But it's really a shame because I feel like this game shines when you have the opportunity to use the entire map because they're just so expansive. You know, especially, I mean, this is really a credit to Eggsy and what Eggsy has done with this map. Just detail around every corner, just outstanding. So let's go back into here. We're using our 12 by 10 grid. They are going to stick with that. That is what has worked in the community. That is something that the community has stipulated that they strongly prefer the 12 by 10 grid. Now, obviously, it's going to break down a little bit. Can't stick with that when you're just going to go into this area. Now, I'm going to unfortunately need to have a quick mulligan here. Truthfully, I'm thinking we're going to back this out because we need a place for our grocery store. And this is the sort of thing that the community could stipulate is you can build this, you need to reserve land for a grocery store. Obviously, right now, if you need to get a loaf of bread, I don't know where you go.